Hey guys, obviously they have a sub today, so we're going to be going through a little bit of stuff. This part right here is not relevant. What I need you guys to do is go ahead and take out a piece of paper, and I need you to be ready to do some problems on them. If the sub would please pause the video and give the students time to get out a piece of paper. All right, we're going to be reviewing some of the exponent rules that we've been doing the last few days. So let's go ahead and start with this set. If the sub would please pause the video and give the students 3 minutes to complete these two problems. All right, reminder, this is multiplication. So the rule is if we're multiplying same bases, we are going to be adding the exponents. Okay. Now for this one, remember you can do some organization if that helps you. The only number here is a 3, so I have 3. My x's, I have an x squared and an x squared. And my y's, I have a y to the 4th. Well, since 3 is the only number, okay, I have 3. My x squareds are being multiplied. I am going to add those exponents together. 2 plus 2 is 4, and y to the 4th. And there's my answer. The second one, there's a little bit more here, so it's a little bit more helpful to organize these. Start with the numbers. We have 3 and 2, so 3 times 2. My u's, I have u squared, u to the 3rd, and u to the 4th. Okay, that takes care of this one, and this one. My v's, okay, you got to remember this v right here is v to the 1st power. So I have v to the 1st power, and I have v to the 4th power. Okay. Now, numbers that are bases, guys, you still multiply. 3 times 2 is 6. My u's are multiplied. We're going to add those exponents. 2 plus 3 plus 4. That would be 9. So I have u to the 9th. And my v's are being multiplied. 1 plus 4 is 5. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at the next one. If the sub would please pause the video and give the students 2 minutes to complete these two problems. All right, these are the power property. Okay, so what I have to remember, if I raise an exponent to another exponent, we're going to multiply the exponents. Okay, now what's tricky here is we have to remember this 4 has an exponent of 1. The m has an exponent of 1. So all 3 of those exponents are being multiplied by the 2. So for the 4, 1 times 2 is 2. That's going to be 4 squared. For the m, 1 times 2 is 2. And for the n, 2 times 2 is 4. Then make sure you take care of that exponent. 4 squared is 16. So I have 16 m squared n to the 4th. For the second one, both of these exponents are being multiplied by 3. So for the m, 3 times 3 is 9. And for the n, 3 times 3 is 9. Okay. All right. If the sub would please pause the video and give the students 3 minutes to complete these two problems. All right. Now, this first one actually tends to be a little trickier than what it appears. This one tends to get missed more often on a quiz or a test, all because of this little 2 right here. Okay, so we do have to be very careful with it. Okay, the fraction here, remember, is 1 over 2. So I actually have 1/2 as my fraction. Okay, and then we have our x's being divided. Remember, we have x to the 4th divided by x to the 4th, if I organize. And my y's, I have y squared divided by y to the 1st. You got to remember that this has an exponent of 1. And now I can simplify. Okay, 1/2 is already simplified, so I can just keep that 2 there. My x's are divided, so remember, we're going to subtract those exponents. 4 minus 4 is 0. And remember, anything raised to 0 power equals 1, so it's gone. The y's are divided. I'm going to subtract those exponents. 2 minus 1 is 1. And this is how our textbook would write that answer, y over 2. Now, remember, I have said it, this, if I saw you write it like that, okay, just make sure we understand that this is how the textbook is going to write it, okay, but that's fine. Number 6, okay, for number 6, okay, let's organize, make sure we have the right things together. So my fraction, I have 3/4. Okay, my x's are divided. I have x to the 4th divided by x squared. And my y's are divided. I have y squared divided by y to the 1st. Okay, well, 3/4 is already simplified, so I have 3/4. My x's are divided, so I'm going to subtract the exponents. 4 minus 2 is 2. The y's are divided, so I'm going to subtract. 2 minus 1 is 1. And I like to write it as just y. If you write it as y the first, okay, I'm going to accept that, okay, but the textbook would write it just like that, okay. All right, we have 2 more, and these are the combination problems. The sub would please pause the video and give the students 4 minutes to complete these 2 problems. Now, these tend to be the trickiest, guys, because these tend to have a combination of either multiply or divide and the power property. Okay, so I'm going to look here, and for number 7, I have the power property. So I'm going to take care of that power property. And I also have a second power property, and I'm going to take care of that power property. All right. Now, reminder, the rule for power property is you're going to multiply all the exponents. So this 2, 1 times 3 is 3. So I have 2 to the 3rd. For the x, 1 times 3 is 3. And for the y, 3 times 3 is 9. And I'm going to move on to the second one. Remember, for this 2, it's also 2 to the 1st. So I have 1 times 4 is 4. So I have 2 to the 4th. And for the y, 3 times 4 is 12. And now, this is a multiplication problem. Okay, now we're multiplying. So I have to transition my rule. When I multiply same bases, I can add the exponents. Okay, now I'm going to put my numbers together. So 2 to the 3rd times 2 to the 4th. I'm going to put those together. My x's, x to the 3rd, and that happens to be the only x. And then we have y to the 9th times y to the 12th. Now, with the numbers, remember, we're going to take care of that. 2 to the 3rd is 8. 2 to the 4th is 16. So I have 8 times 16. And I get 128. With my x's, I just have x to the 3rd. My y's, I'm going to add those exponents. 9 plus 12 is 21. Okay, the last one here. Remember, we talked, this one could be done in different ways. Me personally, I like to simplify first. Okay, but I did notice a lot of us we're doing the power property first. Okay, that's fine either way. Okay, I'm going to simplify this division problem on the inside first, because inside of here, there's work to do. That's what order of operations says. So 3/4 is already simplified. I have my u to the 5th divided by u to the 1st. And I have my v to the 7th divided by v to the 4th. Okay, so 3/4 is just 3/4. So I still am going to have this fraction. My u's are divided, so I'm going to subtract those exponents. 5 minus 1 is 4. My v's, 7 minus 4 is 3. Now what I have to remember is I still have the power property to do. Okay, so with my power property then, I'm going to be multiplying all of these exponents, and I just put a 1 on the 3 and the 4 by 2. So for the 3, I have 3 squared. 1 times 2 is 2. For the u, 4 times 2 is 8. For the v, 3 times 2 is 6. And I cannot forget that 4 on the bottom. 1 times 2 is 2. And then let's go ahead and take care of 3 squared and 4 squared. 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. And I have my answer. Okay. Now, I want you guys to use that piece of paper while you're doing your homework today. If you get done with the homework, this piece of paper that you guys just did with these 8 problems, this needs to be turned in. Okay. So irregardless of whether you get finished or not, please make sure that this gets turned in. If you're finished with the worksheet gets stapled to it. Okay. If the sub would please go ahead and pass out the practice worksheet for the Algebra 1 class. The sub does have the answer key, so make sure you are checking your answers as you go. Remember, about 4 to 6 problems and check. And then when you are finished, please turn that in. Okay. Again, make sure you staple these problems, okay, to our worksheet. Okay. You guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Bye.